welcome. And mahalo for taking the time to join us today. Super appreciative that you're here. Very happy to be able to bring these folks to you today to talk about incredible Maui. But before we get into that, and before I pass over to Brent, I just wanted to quickly give you all a bit of a flood update, because you've obviously heard the news in relation to there being some floods across the islands. But what I wanted to reassure you all on is that everything's good. The storms have passed. All islands are fully open for visitors. So hoping you can see that slide that we're sharing with you currently. So there are some considerations around that right now. So there is some localized recovery that's taking place, cleanup that's taking place, mostly in residential areas at this point, but just wanted to make you aware of it. As of today, there's a very few swimming advisories remaining in effect at this point, but conditions are improving daily. Some roads may be rerouted on the islands. This is not specific to Maui, by the way. I'm talking about Hawaii overall at this point. But what I would say is encourage your clients, as always, to travel mindfully, respecting signs, restricted areas, etc. That's always important in Hawaii, but under these circumstances, I think it's even more appropriate. I'm going to give you the direction in relation to a key resource for information related to this. So gohawaii.com. That's kind of the definitive site, the official site for Hawaiʻi tourism overall. I would strongly encourage you to go there, or even direct your clients towards it in relation to getting real-time updates as to the status of all of this. So just to quickly reiterate before I pass over to Brent, there really is no reason at this point for clients to cancel or postpone. So there you go. Thank you for your time. Mahalo once again. And now I'm going to turn over to Brent from the Maui Visitor Bureau.
Thanks, Colin. Well, aloha to the group. On behalf of our partners today, we are so thankful for you joining us to share about Maui. It's clear from all the greetings in the chat, there are a lot of people with a lot of aloha on this call. And so without further ado, please allow me to speak to the islands of Maui Nui. My name is Brent Lausterer. I joined the Maui Visitors Bureau last June. I've been in hotel business for the last 40 years almost. Unbelievably, it feels like 30 years, I'll say. And I moved to Maui in 1982. So I'm blessed to be a longtime resident, have my children born and raised here, and certainly love the island. So here you see, for those of you who've been here, this might be familiar, the crater of Haleakala, the central volcano on the island of Maui, the dormant volcano. Haleakala means house of the sun. And in Hawaiian legend, this is where the demigod Maui cast a fishing net over the sun to slow it down so that his mother could dry her kapa cloth. So a very significant landmark on the island and one of the favorite explorations that people do. But, to start my presentation, I wanted to share with you my personal favorite place on the island, Ho'okipa Beach Park. This is about 5 minutes past the North Shore Paia town, a little surf town. I grew up about 3 minutes away from here, so I have surfed it, I've dived it, but it's such an amazing spot just to stop and take a photo as a couple or family or friends. The beach has turtles all along it. You'll see the surfers in the water, hear the sound of the waves, see the West Maui Mountains in the distance and Haleakala on your left. So it's just a really invigorating place to stop and feel that Maui energy. And here you can see the three islands that I represent, Maui, Molokai, and Lanai, known as Maui Nui, here in the center of the Hawaiian Island chain. And we often say about the Hawaiian Islands that they are like a family of children. Each one is different, and you love each one for what makes them special. And when people talk about the island of Maui, they often say that it kind of combines the best elements of all the islands. That's what other people say, not me. But I would agree. And as you look at Maui here, the different districts, the North Shore, West Maui, South Maui, they each offer their own individual experiences. And so guests can come to Maui over and over and rediscover it for the first time every time. And here you just see kind of a montage. Again, those of you who've been to the island may recognize some of these locations, and you certainly recognize the vibe of these locations. Just so many ways to enjoy this beautiful island. So I'm going to go through a few of the signature attractions that the island has. And again, many of you may be familiar with these, but Haleakala, which I showed in the beginning, really famous for sunrise and sunset because of the spectacular light show that takes place above the clouds. I do recommend both with Haleakala and with the road to Hana that travelers really consider guided tours. The roads to both landmarks are very challenging, and the driver is not looking at the sights. They're watching the road. And so just as a recommendation, I find that people really enjoy taking guided tours to those two attractions. But with Haleakala, go early. If you're going for sunset, they recommend being there at least 3 hours before sunset. And just be aware that through the fall, there is an infrastructure project taking place. So the parking around the visitor center is a little more limited. Iao Valley State Park, very convenient. You can add it to any day's agenda because it's centrally located on the island. This location is actually closed through late May. They're doing some repairs to some picnic areas and just assessing the trails after the recent rainfall. But when it reopens, it's an amazing spot. You can pull into the parking lot and you're literally in the center of a local rainforest with that incredible atmosphere. And you can go along the stream bed and enjoy the trails there along the stream, or there's a little hiking area to viewpoint. So a great spot to visit. And then the Maui Ocean Center, something I really consider a must do on the island. Incredible aquatic exhibits, all featuring Hawaiian fish, as well as historical and cultural exhibits about Hawaiian fish ponds in the island of Kaho'olawe. And in their Sphere Theater, which you see looking like a golf ball on the left, they have a 360 degree 3D whale movie that's absolutely incredible. The sounds that you hear, in addition to the visuals, make you feel like you're, leagues under the water watching the whales go by. Speaking of the whales, we are in the peak of whale watching season, and the channels between the islands of Maui Nui, being shallower than the open ocean, are the favorite place for the whales when they visit Hawaii. So Maui really is the best place for whale watching, and you can see them from shore. Of course, there's multitudes of whale watching excursions you can go on catamarans. And if you're snorkeling and you're diving underwater, you hear the whale song reverberating through the ocean, which is just incredible. Maui is also blessed with the most luau diversity of the islands. And so you really, no matter what area you're staying in, can find a luau that's conveniently close by. Each one tells its own story about the islands. And in some cases, like Old Lahaina Luau, they only speak to the music and dance of Hawaii. So, it's questions like these, like what luau is the best one for my clients that I'm here to help you with. And please, after this, you'll see my contact information. I'm available to all of you by phone or email for questions. And then another real blessing for all the islands is the incredible volcanic soil, which just makes the farming so productive. And we get to enjoy just the freshest fruit, the freshest produce. And it doesn't matter if you're at a luau, a restaurant, a farmer's market, or at the grocery store. It's another great aspect of being here in Hawaii. And so let me speak briefly to the three main resort areas on the island. Kaanapali was the first resort area. Kaanapali Beach has been voted #1 in the United States and #4 in the world on TripAdvisor. And in the center of Kaanapali is Whalers Village. So there's a great variety of shopping and dining both at the resorts and then in the Whalers Village complex. Kapalua, which is about 15 minutes past Kaanapali on the northwest tip of the island, is its own really secluded area. And there's a sense of quietude here because there's only a couple of main resorts and they're set a bit apart from one another. So Kapalua is a place to go to really escape and just be in a serene location. And they also do have some shopping and dining available around them. So you're not like totally remote, but a beautiful spot, its own sense of environment. And then Wailea, which is, of course, very famous for White Lotus, the first season of which was filmed here on Maui. And it's really known for the crescent beaches that run along the shoreline there, the incredible golf opportunities and the opulent resorts. And next to Wailea, of course, is Kihei Town, which is its own destination. And there's a really wide array of condominiums and smaller hotel choices in Kihei. So everywhere around the island, including in central Maui now, you have hotel and accommodation choices for different travelers. So a lot of variety of the experience and accommodations. As your guests are looking at a trip to Maui or to Hawaii, they're probably not going to plan their trip around a specific event or festival. But once they pick travel dates, this is really worth investigating because these types of events are such an easy way for your guests to jump into the spirit of the community and really enjoy that celebratory flavor, the local foods, the local crafts, and really just take their experience to another level that they otherwise might not have known about. So let me speak to the two neighbor islands of Lanai and Molokai. Each of the islands is special unto themselves. Lanai is just saturated with natural beauty and its own sense of history and heritage. And here you see the island laid out. You can get to Lanai by ferry from Maui 3 times daily from Malaya Harbor. And so it's a great place to go for a day trip. And then you can also get there directly by air from Maui, from Oahu, or from the continental US via private flights. So there's a lot of ways to get to Lanai and explore it. And here again, you see a montage of the natural beauty there, that sense of quietude of these smaller islands. I would say as you look at a vacation for your customers on either Molokai or Lanai, make sure they plan ahead and make reservations for things like rental cars well in advance, because they don't have the infrastructure that the larger islands have. So it's just good to plan those things out logistically. And it's really good to know too what people want to do when they're on the island, because they are slower. There's not like shopping malls. So you're not going to find that kind of like, well, let's just go wander around a shopping mall type time killer, I guess you could say. But there's some incredible historic locations. And on Lanai, in fact, you have a really unique location, which is the Lanai Cat Sanctuary, pictured here on the right. There's so many day trippers that go over to the Lanai Cat Sanctuary. You can actually go there and adopt a cat and bring it home. And the sanctuary was established actually to protect the native bird life on the island, but it's really become its own attraction. And on the left here, you can see it. Now, Lanai is interesting. You have the 2 luxury resorts with 4 seasons of the Four Seasons Lanai at Manele Bay and the Four Seasons Sensei on the mountain slopes, which is adults only. But both these resorts are known to be able to serve the most discerning travelers in the world. Beautiful luxury experiences. And then you also have the Lanai Inn, which is a plantation style single floor story structure, very old school, very relaxing, and another nice option to come to the island. And in the center here, you see the petroglyphs on the North Shore, just again, talking to the history that's available on these 2 neighbor islands. And now let's go to Molokai. So here you see in the background the tallest sea cliffs in the world, over 3,900 feet tall. These are visible only by boat or helicopter. And Molokai, here you see it laid out, is currently available, accessible only by air from Oahu or Maui. There will be a ferry reestablished once Lahaina Harbor is fully reopened. That may be about a year or so in the future, but you can still get to the island readily by air, and it's well worth visiting. Molokai is the majority of the population there is of Native Hawaiian ancestry, and of all the islands, this is the one that is just holds so tightly to its traditions and its roots and the culture. And you can be so rewarded by taking a trip here. It's often I say, like, it's so intimate. It's like being a guest at somebody's home, and you should go there with that same mindset, just respecting the people, the locations while you're there, of course. So similar to festivals, I think that some of the community projects available around Hawaii and Maui are just another incredible way for your guests to take their stay to a totally different level. And these projects range in style from very outdoor, highly active activities to things like going to the Maui Humane Society and getting a dog and taking it for a 2-hour walk around your favorite place on Maui. So there's a lot of different ways to get involved. These projects make a difference for the community, and they give a chance to see places that your guests might otherwise never access, and to really be connected to the Hawaii people and the Maui people and take home memories that are totally unique. So again, just another thing that you can investigate and that I can help you investigate for your clients. So people who know Hawaii will often tell their friends and family when they get home, I feel different. Something special happened. And our newest promotional video for the Hawaiʻi Visitors Bureau really speaks to that, in that Hawaii stays with you. So please allow me to share.
There is no place in the world like our Hawaii. Our flavors, our relationship to the earth, the ways we show aloha. When you come, move, listen, laugh, and live like we do, Hawaii stays with you.
And before I do the next video, I want to touch base on what Colin mentioned, just about the recent rainstorms. I'll talk to Maui specifically briefly. Really, at this point, things are largely back to normal. The one area is in Kihei, South Kihei Road, which if you've been here, you'll be familiar with it. It's the coastal road, did suffer some damages. In 2 areas, it's 1-lane traffic, and that's being resolved actively. And in 1 area, the road is fully closed to vehicles, but it's open to pedestrians. So, you know, again, the roads are cleared apart from these 3 areas. And so just guests coming to Kihei, they'll have an amazing stay. Just let them know that in particular, the one area where the road is closed, there may be traffic at times due to rerouting. But apart from that, the road to Hana is reopened. The road to Haleakala is reopened. So again, as Colin highlighted, there's no reason for guests to feel anxious or worry that coming to Hawaii now won't be an experience that they will enjoy. So I wanted to speak to that. And with that, let me just share now another video about Hawaii, about Maui specifically, and just the fun of coming here. So my information's here. I'm so thankful to meet all of you today on the webinar. And I'm very serious when I say, please reach out to me. I want to help you convert sales to Maui. I want to help you make your customers feel comfortable coming. And their coming and being here will help the island very much. And so to finish, I started with one of my favorite places on the island. I'm going to finish with one of my favorite Hawaiian sayings. This is something I only learned about a few months ago when I was looking for Hawaiian sayings. So it's not like I've known this since I was a child, but when I read it, it really resonated with me. And that is, ua ola no ikapane a ke aloha. There is life in a kind word. So aloha, and I'll turn it over now to our partners to continue the presentations. Thank you so much for being here today.
Wonderful. Thank you, Brent. So we're going to pass it over to Kiana Smith now.
Hi, I'm Kiana Smith. I'm with Hawaiʻi Farm Project, and I'm the Director of Sales and Marketing. It's nice to meet everyone today. So Hawaiʻi Farm Project is comprised of 7 agritourism-driven companies. We own Maui Gold Pineapple Company, which has been around for 50 plus years. We own Maui Pineapple Tour, which has been around since 2010. We own Maui Chocolate Tour, which is our partners with Maui Kuʻia Estates in Lahaina. We also own Lahaina Honey Company, which is in Laniapoko. Maui Pineapple Farm is new this year. It is a company we brought to bring value-added products to Maui Gold to help create less waste for the pineapples. And we also own Maui Farm Events. So there's a lot going on here, which we're really excited to share with everyone. And we're excited to continue to do more as the years go on. So I'll start with Maui Gold. Maui Gold has been around for 50 plus years. Our location is in Hali'imaile. We are one of 2 pineapple working farms in the state of Hawaii. We actually are one of 2 that can actually sell pineapples to the state of Hawaii. You can't bring pineapples into Hawaii, but you can bring pineapples out. So that's a fun little fact about Maui Gold. So we are one of 2 suppliers for pineapples. And this is also the fields that you'll be exploring if you were to take the Maui Pineapple Tour. Yeah. And these are some pictures from Maui Gold. The factory, which we like to call the packing shed. So you get to see everything on the inside where they actually process all the fruit and package it and get it ready to be shipped out or sent to wholesale. And then we will dive into Maui Pineapple Tour. So Maui Pineapple Tour has been around since 2010. It's the official and only farm tour of Maui Gold Pineapple Company. You get to actually explore a working farm. So you get to go explore in the fields first, and then you get to go to the packing shed. And so you get to see everything from the beginning stages of like the planting and all the fruit stages as well, because it takes 18 months to grow a pineapple. And then you get to go to the packing shed and see like how the workers pack it and learn more about the different benefits and all of the fun things that come with pineapples. And then after your tour, you actually get to take home a pineapple. So you get to, it's already TSA certified. It'll be in an airport box, and then you get to take it with you on the plane. So we have, now we have 4 signature tours. So we have the farm tour, which is the behind the scenes farm journey from the beginning of the plant stages all the way through when it's ready to harvest, like probably a week before harvest, you get to see it. Sometimes you get to see the workers out there, whether they're weeding, harvesting, planting, or just depends on what time of the day that you're actually doing the tour on. And then if you're there on, I would like to say Monday and Thursdays, then you actually get to see them in the packing shed, which is a really fun experience. So definitely a full rounded experience there. And then now we have a new farm and lunch experience, which is partnered and catered by Ohana Island Grinds. We're super excited about this new experience. You get to do the entire farm tour, and then afterwards you get to go look at the views of Maui from Hali'imaile and actually enjoy a really great lunch. So it gives you at least an opportunity to go do a tour and then also not have to worry about where you're eating for lunch afterwards. It's a 2-for-1 deal. And then I also have a farm and feast experience, which also gives you that same vibe. It'll be a farm tour as well. And then you get to go and have dinner at Hali'imaile General Store. Hali'imaile General Store is actually one of our partners from Maui Gold. They use our pineapples in their burger, which is amazing. And they also have a pineapple upside down cake, which is specifically made with Maui Gold pineapples. And then we also have a planting tour. The planting tour is a really fun place and like tour to be able to learn how the workers have planted and their thought process behind it. So it's really getting yourself into the weeds of things and being able to plant. And then also after that, you get to harvest your own pineapple to take home with you. So it's a full immersive experience as well. And our goal here and our purpose at Maui Pineapple Tour is to show you Maui's specifically last working pineapple farm, but also connect the guest with where the pineapples originated from and where they're heading. So these are all pictures on the side of the different tours. We're really excited to share them with you. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out or ask in the Q&A. These are all different pictures. You actually get to taste pineapple during the tour as well. It's not unlimited, but it's definitely a good amount. And then this is the food you get to eat at Hali'imaile General Store. And then different parts of the fields, whether you're planting, taking pictures of the fruit, or watching the workers. And then I also have Maui Chocolate Tour. It's definitely a farm to bar tour. It's rooted in Maui. It's located in Lahaina. It is the official farm and factory tour for Maui Kuʻia Chocolate Estates. We own the farm tour side, and we also assist Kuʻia with their factory tours. It is a 20-acre cacao farm, which is amazing. So you get to explore a really unique cacao farm. It's not like anything you'll see anywhere else because in Lahaina, the ecosystem that Lahaina creates is not actually made very well for cacao farms to thrive. But they create an entire ecosystem with different tree varieties, plant varieties within it to make Maui Kuʻia chocolate just that much more special and also be able to survive within Lahaina. And so our tour, we have a farm tour as well here, and you start at the factory, you head to the field or to the farm, and then you get to learn all about how the different varieties work, how they're processed in the plant, and also processed in the factory, and then their different uniqueness of working with citrus and how Gunnar, the owner, really connected the two together. And then we also have a farm and lunch experience. This is also new to us. We partner with Kapena's Kitchen. So it's our treehouse lunch, which is really fun. You get to see the entire view of Lahaina from our treehouse. And you either get the Malka or Makai. It just depends on what side of the tree or which treehouse you get. But they're both very beautiful views. And it's just a really great way to find reason to do a tour and then also have lunch at the same time. And then we just launched, starting actually tomorrow, we'll be launching our Farm and Feast experience. This is partnered with Sale Pepe, which is also a neighbor of ours in Lahaina. And so we're really excited to work with them on a full immersive experience where you get to try 9 pieces of chocolate. On every tour, you try 9 pieces of chocolate, and then you get to eat all the food you want. And it's just a fun way to connect guests to the land and understand the process of how chocolate is working on Maui. And these are all the different pictures. This is the farm, our guides giving chocolate out. And then this is one of the tree houses. It's we like to call it the OG tree house. It's the one that faces the ocean. And there's some other views of the factory, of the views you get to see if you're there, and all the fun things. And then last but not least, we have Maui Pineapple Store. Maui Pineapple Store is also located in Hali'i Maile with Maui Pineapple Tour and Maui Gold. It is the official home of Maui Gold Pineapple. If you can't find pineapple anywhere else on the island, you can definitely find it online at mauipineapplestore.com, or you can find it in store at Maui Pineapple Store. We have a D2C program for Maui Gold, and you get to either order it one time, or you can do a subscription process of ordering pineapples through mauipineapplestore.com. So it's definitely a very fun place to check it out. We also sell Lahaina Honey Company through Maui Pineapple Store and merch for Maui Pineapple Tour. And we're trying to bring Maui Chocolate Tour merch into here as well. But yeah, we're 94% local at Maui Pineapple Store. We focus on locally made, locally processed, and also products that use Maui Gold specific, and then also products that are exclusive to Maui Gold, or to Maui Pineapple Store. So it's definitely a full immersive experience and really just supporting local as much as we can. That's the goal at the end of the day for us. And we were originally in Lahaina. We did burn on Front Street, but we are very grateful that in December of 2024, we were able to make a home in Hali'i Maile, and it's continuous where we are at today. And these are different. We have keiki, we have bags, we have pineapples, we have fresh cut. We also are working on bringing pineapple juice, fresh pineapple juice from Maui Gold into this mix as well. We did a collaboration with Aloha Collection. So we have our exclusive bags there as well. Gift boxes. If you're working on like corporate gifts or even just corporate groups need some, this is also where we're at as well. And then we have our famous pineapple wall where everyone takes pictures in front of pineapples with our Maui Gold sign. Thank you guys so much for listening to me and hearing all about what we do here at Hawaii Farm Project.
Wonderful. Thank you, Kiana. So I'm going to pass it over to Kathleen now for her presentation.
Aloha, everyone. My name is Kathleen. I'm the Leisure Sales Manager at the Andaz Maui Wailea. Actually, I love that Kiana finished off with that because fun fact about my family here, we actually migrated here in Maui because of the pineapple company 30 years ago. So they needed workers at the time. My grandfather, who worked for the pineapple company, signed an application for my dad while we were back home in the Philippines. And that company were able to brought us in here. So that's why now I'm able to speak to you guys on behalf of like our beautiful property, our beautiful island. And honestly, that's thanks to my pineapple. Before I proceed with my presentation, Paige, if you can please just show the short clip that I had sent to you just to get a brief overview of how our beautiful property looks. Thank you very much, Paige. So just to give you guys a little bit of background about myself here on property, I've been with the Andaz for almost 13 years. I actually make 13 years in July. I was an operations girl for 10 years prior to me joining the sales team. But yes, I've done it all: front desk, VIP manager, rooms control, on the kitchen hose. I've done it all on property. So if you guys have any questions about the island or about the property itself, I'm definitely your go-to gal. So the beautiful Andaz Maui sits on a 15-acre oceanfront property along the coast of Wailea. We do have 5 cascading beautiful pools, 4 that is accessible for all ages, and a separate adult pool. This is actually one of my favorite features about the property because of the many pool options. Even if you or your clients are visiting at a busier time like Thanksgiving or festive, for example, you will never feel how busy the property is because of those amenities. We are a home of wonderful selections of guest rooms. We do have 35 suites and 30 luxury 2, 3, and 4 bedroom villas. Our guest rooms and suites were renovated in January of 2024, and all of our legacy Makai oceanfront villas and Hema villas were renovated just right before Thanksgiving. So the big picture on the top right there, that is one of our 4-bedroom oceanfront villas, literally steps away from the ocean. We also welcome, so these are newer products. We welcome 19 of our Ilikai Villa products in May of 2021. We originally started the property with 7 oceanfront villas. We added 4 more of what were supposed to be residential villas. And then 5 years ago, our owner said, let's build 19 more villas. And having been at the property since opening, I myself was like, where are we putting these 19 villas? But here they are now. They are quite popular and we're very, very proud of them. These are some pictures of our Ilikai villas as well. For those of you that may not know, our villas are equipped with a full kitchen, a washer, dryer, barbecue grill. So anything that you pretty much have in your own home. Villas does have wonderful inclusions as well. So if you are in a 3-bedroom villa, you will receive a breakfast for 6 people. So it's 2 per bedroom. You do receive a daily resort credit as well. So again, if you're in a 3-bedroom, you will receive 150 daily resort credits. If your clients are staying with us for 5 nights, that's an additional $750 credit added to their value. Also, parking is also included, which is really nice as well. Our largest accommodation in our villa and our newer villas is going to be our penthouse. So this is pretty much double the size of a regular 3-bedroom Ilikai villa. It has a glass bottom pool right here, which is pretty cool. Fire pit. It does have a wraparound patio from the living room into the master bedroom. It has your own Peloton. So it's just a beautiful product overall. And then this is just a bird's eye picture of our property, pretty much, which outlines where all of our villas are located. So originally, the Makai villas were the only villas we did have when we first opened the property. We added 3 of these beautiful Hema villas here. And then again, in May of 2021, we added the 19 villas right here. And if your clients are staying in a guest rooms or suites, they will be located among these 3 wonderful towers right here. So we have our Hema tower right here, a Cow tower, and our Makai tower right here. And I did say that we did renovate our Hema as well as Makai villas. So I did just want to outline the things that we did, just to give you guys a little bit more details on what that looks like. I know some of you, I see a lot of names here that are quite familiar. So aloha to everyone. And for those of you that I have not met, hello. I know some of you guys have already seen our Makai and Hema villas. They are beautiful, even more so now that we just renovated them. We wanted to bring more of the sunset and ocean into the unit. So that's what we have added. The carpet, look at all this beautiful headboard right here. Beautiful like blue and sunset colors into the units, which is really exciting. So again, those were completed in just right before Thanksgiving of last year. So very, very new. And which I don't have here, but we also, for those of you that have visited the property as well, we did just renovate our Bombay Beach Bar. So this is one of our beach bar closest to the ocean. We have new comfort seatings. We have new bars. So lots of great enhancements that were just completed. These are some cultural activities that we do offer on property, which is very, very exciting. So we have lei making, ukulele class, outrigger canoes that are super popular. These are typically the activities that your clients would pay for. However, most of them are included in the nightly resort fee, so there's no additional charges to that. There are some activities that we will have additional costs to them, like the poke making, which is really popular, and the mix it up, which is our mixology class for the adults. So those are very, very exciting. And these are just also some of the beautiful products that we do offer on property. This picture right here is a private lunch in a villa. I'm so sorry. Oh, thank you. And this is Iron Chef Morimoto right here. This is our very popular chef's kitchen. So for those of you that may have honeymooners, those adults that are joining Kaana Kitchen, which is our signature restaurant, what we do is everything that we make for dinner is made in the restaurant. So your clients and you guys are able to walk around. Our chef's table is curated for pretty much a talk story between our guests and our culinary team. So the menu as well as the wine offerings is pretty much based on the conversation that they do have, which I really love. And this one here, of course, last but not the least, we do have our very own feast at Mukapu Luau on property every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. So one thing I love about the luau itself is it's very intimate. Typically, we do cap it at no more than 200 just to make it very exclusive for our clients. But my favorite about it is the backdrop. So yes, that backdrop right there is the sunset and the ocean. You can't go wrong with that. And something that makes it even more elevated is our food and beverage offerings. So we do plated dinner. So it's not luau style. We do serve you with your meal. So that's just something that makes it a little bit more exclusive and just elevate the experience a little bit more. But yes, as I mentioned prior, I've been on property for almost 13 years. I've been on island for 30 years. I've done it all pretty much. So again, I am a great source if you have any questions about the island or about the property itself. But yes, it's a pleasure to meet all of you. And if I do have some links that's shared on to our chat as well. So that's our e-brochure as well as our 3D floor plans of each units that we do have. So again, I can't wait to welcome all of you to our property as well as your clients. If you do have any questions or anything whatsoever, you guys know where to find me. But aloha, everyone. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Kathleen. So I'm going to pass it over to Ari now.
Aloha, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Ari Shapiro. I'm the Leisure Sales Executive here at the Hyatt Regency Maui Resort and Spa. And so just a little bit about the resort. We actually just celebrated our 45th year anniversary last year. It was such a major milestone for us. And fun fact, actually yesterday, we just had one of our employees celebrate 46 years at our property. You know, the average tenure at my property tends to be around 15 to 20 years. And I think that makes such a great thing about our property because a lot of our businesses repeat guests. They love coming back here for decades. And so we know them. We welcome them back home. We treat them with such great care, VIP everybody. So I'm delighted to spend a few minutes with you sharing one of Maui's most classic and iconic oceanfront resorts. If you're looking for a property that beautifully combines the spirit of Hawaii with the comfort, energy, and variety travelers are looking for, this is a resort that truly delivers. So we are set on 40 oceanfront acres on world-famous Ka'anapali Beach. Hyatt Regency Maui offers that classic "you've arrived in paradise" feeling from the moment guests step onto our property. We have 810 guest rooms, including 31 suites. And the resort has all the benefits of a full-service destination while still feeling scenic, very relaxing, and unmistakably Maui. This is the kind of resort that works for so many different travelers. It's wonderful for couples, ideal for families, a great fit for multi-generational trips, and it's especially appealing for guests who want more than just a beautiful beach. Yes, the oceanfront setting is very stunning. A lot of our guests love having coffee out on their lanai or enjoying the beautiful west side sunsets with a Mai Tai in their hand. But what makes our resort so memorable is everything layered around it. The dining, the activities, the wildlife, the cultural experiences. And those little moments truly make a vacation feel special. And we really lean into all those little details. So let's start with our rooms. So one of the standout features here is the size of our guest rooms. Our resort offers some of the largest standard guest rooms in all of Ka'anapali, 451 square feet. And that extra space really does matter. It gives guests space to settle in, unpack, exhale, and enjoy their stay a little more comfortably. Our reimagined guest rooms include double vanity sinks, open concept closet and lounging area, and private lanais with glass railings designed to really maximize the views of the ocean and our lush tropical surroundings. For guests who want to elevate the experience even further, our suite options are equally just as attractive, if not a little bit better. Our resort offers 21 ocean view suites at 554 square feet and 7 deluxe ocean suites at 908 square feet, along with some premium suites, including our Regency Suite, which is a 1-bedroom, Presidential Suite, which is a 2-bedroom, and our famous Palace Suite, which is a 3-bedroom. We also have the largest amount of connecting room options available on the west side. We have 181 sets of connecting rooms. And yes, we can guarantee it. I'll be following up, showing you how we can actually guarantee our connecting rooms. But, it's a wonderful option, especially when you're traveling with little ones, to know that you will always be connected and we're able to guarantee that. So it's not a request if you do it the way that I'm going to send it to you later on. And so this is really especially useful for a lot of our families or groups, or, even anyone celebrating something special and traveling all together. So let's talk about one of my favorite topics, food. Hyatt Regency Maui features 7 dining and entertainment experiences, including our award-winning Japango restaurant. Our presentation also highlights Swan Court, Sun Steakhouse, and Umalu, so it gives guests a wonderful variety of settings and dining styles throughout their stay. And that variety really adds to the overall experience. One day it might be a leisurely breakfast at Swan Court, the next a relaxed lunch near the pool at Umalu, and in the evening you could either do sushi at Japango or steak at Sun Steakhouse, giving you a beautiful dinner with tropical surroundings. And for guests looking for something especially memorable, so we just introduced an omakase experience at Japango. Adds that extra wow factor. So for those of you who don't know what omakase means I leave it to you in Japanese. And so what this is, it's a very exclusive experience at Japango. We only do it once per week and we sit up to 5 guests. It is 12 courses. I had the pleasure of experiencing it for myself last month, and let me tell you, it is absolutely amazing. You're not going to know what the menu is until you get there, because everything is up to the chef's choice. And all of it is very fresh. A lot of it is locally sourced here on Maui. So all of our dining experiences gives guests choices, convenience, and that lovely sense that they can do as much or as little as they want without ever feeling that limited. And that same idea carries beautifully into our resort's activities and amenities. So for families and fun seekers, our resort features a half-acre pool, a 150-foot water slide, and a keiki water playground. And for guests who prefer a more laid-back pool day, there are also oceanfront cabanas, day beds, perfect for settling in with a view and fully embracing island time. And I get 2 reactions for this part. So we just converted all of our tennis courts to pickleball courts. So we now have 12 pickleball courts. We're seeing the sport really pick up. I'm sure your clients are also seeing that as well. So now we have 12 of them. We offer equipment rentals, we offer lessons, and it is done by a third party, but it is part of the resort experience as well. So one of the most unique features of Hyatt Regency Maui is its wildlife experience. Guests can encounter penguins, swans, parrots, which brings such a fun and unexpected element to the resort experience. And you heard me right. Yes, we do have penguins on property. Our resident African penguins have become one of the property's most memorable highlights, especially for families and animal lovers. Guests can take part in exclusive penguin feedings, enjoy wildlife tours, and attend the daily penguin presentations in our atrium lobby. They can learn more about the penguins themselves, as well as a lot of our conservation efforts in place to help protect all of our wild seabirds. And what makes it especially engaging is that this isn't just something guests pass by on the way to the pool. It's actually a genuine experience woven into their stay. Our presentations and programs give guests a closer look at the penguins' care, their behavior, and enrichment, and it adds that educational layer that feels both meaningful and memorable. And for those guests who want to go even deeper, we do have a wildlife university, which offers a more hands-on, in-depth look at a lot of the different training, a lot of the different enrichment and nutrition. And it's definitely one of those distinctive touches that truly makes our resort not only beautiful, but truly one of a kind. And it's one of those details that people remember. There are plenty of beautiful resorts in the world, but not all of them let you start your morning in paradise and go meet penguins right before lunch. And we also do have a lot of other activities. Guests can enjoy our mixology and poke classes in Japango. We also have mermaid swim classes, cultural classes, scuba classes, and we also have an oceanfront fitness center and spa. So one of the most distinctive experiences at Hyatt Regency Maui is we do have something called Tour of the Stars, and it's actually an astrophotography workshop. Guests can join the resort's resident NASA solar system ambassador. His name is Eddie Mahoney, a very, very passionate gentleman about space. And we do have telescopes right on the rooftop on top of our Lahaina Tower. We do not have very much light pollution here on Maui, and especially here on the west side. And let me tell you, when you're up there and you're looking at the stars on a clear night, it is absolutely breathtaking to do it. And Eddie also does it a little bit tastefully as well. We also like to introduce a lot of the cultural elements. The stars were a very important piece in Polynesian history, especially as they made their way up to Hawaii. They used the stars as their navigating compass. So he likes telling the different stories about all the different stars and how they used all these stars to get here to Hawaii. It's such a wonderful example of how we go beyond the unexpected. And, a stay here can absolutely be about pool time and sunsets, but it can also be about stargazing and learning, more about how the stars guided our voyagers across the Pacific. So for golf enthusiasts, there's even more to enjoy here. So in addition to our nearby Kaanapali golf course, which offers 36 holes of championship golf, we also have a golf studio named Yo Maui. This is where guests can participate in golf lessons, golf theme activities, and it's actually run by a PGA golf professional. I'm often there on a Friday evening, taking a couple of swings out there. So no experience is necessary, and it makes it very approachable and a lot of fun for a wide range of guests. And one of our signature highlights is actually the Drums of the Pacific luau. You cannot come to Hawaii and Maui without seeing a luau. And ours is very unique. I always say all of the luau's on Maui are very different from each other. So ours have been running for over 40 years, and it's a vibrant experience, giving guests to enjoy traditional song and dance. We have an authentic imu ceremony, which is when they bring the pig out. It's all done buffet style. There's an open bar. It features a lot of our island cuisine and all of our local spirits. And of course, you cannot have a luau without a 3-man Samoan fire knife dance finale. Absolutely incredible, and it definitely gives a fantastic evening experience for many guests. Often one of the highlights of the trip. So before I wrap up, I'd love to mention the featured offer included in this presentation, which is called Paradise Awaits. This offer includes daily breakfast buffet for registered guests at Swan Court, $150 resort credit per stay, 15% savings off of our luau, 10% savings off of our daybeds, cabanas, and 10% off of our photography packages with additional special rate savings off of the rate. So it is valid all the way until December 21st of this year. And we actually just extended the booking window until June 30th. So I know people are always looking for, the best offers and the best inclusions. So I always say this offer is going to be the best bang for your buck if you have clients interested in coming to Maui. And, it's a lovely package because it definitely adds value in all the right places. So guests don't just save, they also enjoy more of our experiences while they're there. So to close, Hyatt Regency Maui Resort and Spa is a property that offers beauty, personality, and plenty of memorable experiences and all in one setting. And the kinds of signature experiences that make a stay feel truly special. I've been on property here. Will actually be my 5th anniversary being here on property. I'm based here on property. I actually started at this property as a wedding coordinator. So I definitely understand a lot of the operational things that go on here. But again, thank you again for joining me. I hope this has given you a helpful look at my resort. And I hope it will be top of mind the next time you're planning the perfect Hawaiian getaway. Mahalo, and have a wonderful day.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ari. And thank you to the rest of our presenters as well. I think now we'll head into our question and answer portion. So if you have any questions, please put them in the chat and we'll go through them now. But since we have Ari that just left off, I do have a question here from Neil asking, is the Regency Club undergoing renovation?
Yes, and I'm glad you brought that up. So we are about to go under renovation for our Regency Club. And so for those of you who don't know what our Regency Club is, it's an additional experience that you can add on either through booking the room or you can add on while you're on property. But it's a dedicated space that we use that you could have a late breakfast in, or even evening hors d'oeuvres. There's also cocktails there. It kind of gives that exclusive space. You're not having to fight a lot of guests. So yes, we will be undergoing renovation. It's actually going to be starting here at the end of next week. And we expect for it to be done by about mid to end of June, hopefully earlier. But what we're doing is we're refreshing a lot of the space. We're changing a lot of the furniture out. We're just expanding it a little bit more. It is one of the most redeemed clubs in the Hyatt brand. We get a ton of globalists that stay with us. So we just want to make sure that it's large and open and make sure it's accessible for everybody.
Great, thank you. I also have a question here for Kathleen. Neil also asked, has the Andaz entrance breezeway been affected by the rains?
Okay. I actually took a video. I walked around the property right after the storm, just because, again, we've had so many questions about, the water. Do you have a beach? Do you, what is the water swimmable? It is. I walked around the property, I think maybe that Monday right after the second storm that came. And yes, we do have a beach. It is swimmable. Yes, all of our outrigger, our water activities are currently running again. So the outrigger canoes, the stand-up paddle boards and all of that, they are again back to normal and running. So yes, we do have a beach. We are setting up beach chairs and umbrellas fronting our property right now.
Wonderful, thank you. From Elise was asking, what's the best season to visit Maui for whale watching?
Yeah, I got a little excited on that one and I started answering questions, and I probably should have deferred to Brent on that one, but whale watching in Hawaii, oh my goodness. So Maui, yeah, it's sort of considered the hub, and Brent, keep me honest here, kind of the season we're talking about, mid-Jan to mid-April is kind of peak. And part of the reason why Maui is so good for whale watching specifically is because it's shallowish waters in the vicinity of the island. So if you're looking into the channel, towards Lanai or Molokai, you're going to see, even from shore, you're potentially going to see whale watching from there. Brent, anything I should add to that?
You're spot on.
I mean, you can watch from other islands as well, to be clear, but I think Maui is kind of known as the best spot/hub for it.
Perfect, thank you. And I have a question here from Carol as well that was asking, how is Maui now and after the fire and the destruction?
Sure, I'll jump in for that one. I was typing a response, and I'm happy to say Lahaina is in a much more positive space than it was, of course, after the fires. Just to give you a sense of the priority focus. They started focused on residential rebuild. So they've finished about 30 to 40 houses already, and people have moved back in. And if you go through Lahaina, you'll see houses in all various stages of build. So the residential move back is happening. And of course, it's a process. Each one is case by case on each person's situation, but certainly you see it happening. I was on a call about 3 months ago about the commercial development in Lahaina. And it's really important to highlight that is going to focus on keeping it historic, quaint, pedestrian friendly, really reminiscent of the experience that people love about Lahaina. It was the first capital of Hawaii. There's so much important history there that has to be respected. And so one reason for the length of time before they started the commercial development was the desire to work with the community, understand what the residents wanted, and then also to make sure that anything that was built was in the spirit of what Lahaina was. It's not going to be all Gucci, Versace. You may have those offerings scattered around the town, but that's not going to be its focus. It'll be art, boutique restaurants, fun shopping, and just the spirit of the banyan tree again. So the harbor is reopened. There's 4 operators now working out of the harbor, and there's going to be continued gradual reopening of the harbor throughout this year. So you've got Atlanta Submarines, Sail Maui, and a couple other activity operators working from Lahaina Harbor. You can go down to designated parking locations in Lahaina and go visit the banyan tree area. You can't walk underneath the banyan tree, but that whole quadrant around it is open for people to stroll. The biggest thing I'd say is stay in, please ask your guests, stay in the designated areas and do not take photos. And I think just speaking in general, even after the recent rainstorms, if people are going through areas where you see homes that have been damaged, I fully understand it's not meant out of disrespect. It's more like, wow, but just ask your guests. That's one thing I think that is important to the residents, is not to take photos of damaged homes. And so, so another thing I'd share really quickly about the recovery of Lahaina is some of the energy that's gone into it. There is a new West Maui Greenway that's going to be built that will go from potentially all the way halfway to Lahaina to Kapalua. This is going to have historic trail markers. It's going to be lit. There will be no motorized vehicles allowed apart from e-bikes in a designated lane. So it's meant for commuters that are going to work in Lahaina to take traffic off the roads, but it's also meant to be a place with large parks interspersed throughout the walkway for residents and visitors to be able to hang out and enjoy an off-beach experience that still really is incredible, because if you've been here, the West Maui Mountains are just stunning. And so this is a new thing that will really open up a new experience. The other thing I want to mention is Tree Covery. They're an organization that is going to all the homes that were lost. They're asking the families what kind of trees they'd want when their home is rebuilt. They're planting saplings. And so when the people move back in, you have these semi-mature green trees being planted on their lots, which is such a blessing for them being welcomed back. But it's also a huge blessing for Lahaina, because as it reblossoms, you have this whole greenery now coming forward into the landscape as people move back in. So there's so much good energy around Lahaina. And one last thing really quickly is that there were many shops in areas that weren't impacted. Obviously it was an unspeakable tragedy what happened. At the same time, just in the context of your visitors' experience, Cannery Mall, Old Lahaina Luau, the Gateway shops, Mala Wharf restaurant, and all of Kaanapali and those areas was untouched. And so just know that Lahaina is coming back, and the West Side is still an amazing experience with so many things that the people love, like Kiana mentioned, the chocolate farm and the experience there, and just so many other things. So Great. Sorry to go on and on, but
no, you're good. Thank you. Okay, so I did have a few questions here. I think Michael asks, are reservations required to access Haleakala midday and or sunset?
No reservations are required. Just know that sunset has become its own phenomenon. Originally, it was all about sunrise, but sunset now is almost the equal. So they recommend going at least 3 hours early. I'd recommend going 4, to be honest, because right now it's a busy time. And because of the parking work that's being done at the visitor center. The other thing is just take warm clothes, of course. People may underestimate how chilly it is up there. And it's definitely take long pants, long shirt, and a blanket, because it's cold. So. And Ari goes there all the time. So Ari, you can let me know if I'm missing anything. Words of recommendations. Nope. Okay.
The only thing I would recommend is just hiking down into the crater if you can. It's beautiful down there.
Wonderful. And then I think Rosanna also asks, are private vehicles allowed on the summit as well?
Yes, they are. you can drive yourself, and then there's a lot of different tours you can take as well. And the one thing I'll say about the tours is, in addition to sparing you the need to focus on these roads, which are very curvy and challenging, the drivers know the history of the routes, and they can really bring the stories out along the way. And then again, it just adds another layer beyond the natural beauty. So
Wonderful. Thank you. I have another question from Neil that says, can you give us an update on the South Kihei Road closure at Fred's Mexican restaurant?
sure, that's the one area that is fully closed to vehicles, but it is pedestrian passable. So you can get through the entire South Kihei Road on foot. So I was in a presentation yesterday where or a couple of nights ago, where they talked about that specific location. There are utilities embedded in that spot that are going to make it a little more complicated than just the other areas where it was just a physical road, essentially fall over, I guess you could say, in that one lane. The timeline is a few months at least. They're assessing now with the different utility companies what's going to be involved. So I don't have a super specific timeline. I think certainly this year it will be completed, but I think it won't be completed before the end of summer, say, just given some of the complications involved. But again, it's an area that can be readily rerouted around. There's some feeder roads on both sides. So again, realistically, there will, especially if you're in the buildings directly adjacent to it, of course, you're going to have a little bit more impact from that rerouting. But if you're just in Kihei generally, I don't think you're going to feel it too much.
Wonderful. Thank you, Brent.
And Fred's is open, so go get a margarita.
Perfect. Great. So I don't know if I missed, I think I covered all the questions, but if anyone wants to let me know if they saw a question that they wanted to answer. If not, I think we'll kind of go ahead and wrap up for today. But I'm going to open the floor to presenters as well if you wanted to give any kind of last words.
Oh, yeah, I would like to say one last thing really fast. And I've had the pleasure of working with Colin for the last 10 months since I joined the Bureau. I just want to call him out for his knowledge about Hawaii and his love of the islands. It's so evident every time I'm around him. And so you just have a team of people who are here to help you all bring your guests to Hawaii. All the people you see here and all the people you already work with, right? Just know this Ohana wants to help you. We know you have challenges right now in the travel world. So whatever we can do to help Maui stand out, we're here for you, and we appreciate you.
Thank you, Brent. Appreciate it.
Thank you again to all of our lovely presenters, and thank you everyone for being here today.